In this class of biology, I am going to tell you about the size of the cell, how it varies from different organisms. Okay, so before entering into the topic of the cell, the size of the cell, I want to recall the topic that we have already covered in the previous class about the diversity in the cell. Cells are of different sizes and shapes, isn't it? We have studied about the different cells in the human body also. They are the RBC, WBC you have studied, and nerve cells, bone cells, striped muscle cell, smooth muscle cell, everything you have studied in the previous class. That the shape is some are round, some are spherical, some that is a spindle shaped, and some are elongated and star shaped and so on. So you did not find that all the organisms, so all the cells in our body at least, they are not of the same shape. They are of different shapes and they are of different sizes also. So you can find the difference in the size and shape of the cells. As you very well know that RBC are round or spherical in shape, they contain the nucleus, they are devoid of nucleus and they contain only cytoplasm and cell membrane. And WBC contain the nucleus, it is lobed, and constricted nucleus is present in WBC, isn't it? So we have seen in the nerve cells you found various cell organelles along with nucleus, cytoplasm and cell membrane. You found the cell organelles in the nerve cell and it is very elongated. So in the to be frank to say that the cells contain different parts in them. What are the different parts present in the different types, different cells we have seen in the previous class? This we will be confirming through a table that is given in your textbook. So try to write down and complete the table with which we have studied and understood up to now. Okay, let's start and answer the question now. Serial number, name of the cell, shape of the cell, and name of the parts observed in the cell. Note down in your notebooks, all of you. The first one very given for you is RBC. RBC are round in shape and the parts present in them are cytoplasm, cell membrane and cytoplasm. Note down. So RBC are round in shape and you know very well that they are present in numerous in number in our body. They are not present in our body in a proper count, then it leads to anemia. Okay, about 4.2 to 6 millions of RBC cells are present in our body. It leads to anemia if they are decreased in our body. Mainly the protein, the hemoglobin content is present in our blood is responsible for the red color of the blood, that is red blood cells. Okay, so this is about the RBC. They vary in count from the adults to infants and from male to female also. So that we have to understood about these cells of RBC. Second one, it's given about the muscle cells. How they are. Smooth muscle cell and striped muscle cell you have seen over there. So the muscle cell are they are spindle shaped. How they are? They are spindle shaped. And what are the organelles present? That is the parts that we have seen in the muscle cell. We have seen cell membrane. Yes, in an animal cell you find the cell membrane, which is a protective layer, outer protective layer, and cytoplasm is also seen, where the cell organelles are embedded along with the nucleus. Nucleus and cell organelles are embedded inside the cytoplasm for the muscle cell. Okay, next coming to the nerve cell. Nerve cell, you know very well, it is the cell body is of star shaped and it is elongated in structure. So it is we can see that it is elongated structure. Elongated. Okay, what does it contain? The cell body contains the cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus in the center, and cell organelles are also present inside the nerve cell. Nerve cell, you know that they transfer the messages to from the brain to the sensory organs and from the sensory organs back to the brain again, and this process carried on by the nerve cell. The different parts, as you know very well, the dendrite is the cell body that contains the nucleus, the cell organelles inside the nasal granules that are present in the cell body, and the elongated structure, the axon, which consists of the myelin sheath, and in between the nodes of Ranvier are present, and the nerve terminals which carries the impulses from the brain to the sensory organs and back to the nerve cells. So this is about the nerve cell that you have studied in the previous class. So that you have understood so far. Next, fourth one that is given about is bone cell. How is the bone cell? What is the shape of the bone cell? It is star shaped. It is star shaped. And what are the organs present in it? Same as the muscle cell, that is the muscle cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, and also it contains the cell organelles inside. So note. Now coming to the WBC. What does the WBC contain? The RBC and WBC are quite opposite way. The RBC are devoid of nucleus, whereas WBC, they are round. They contain the nucleus which is lobed and constricted. It contains the cytoplasm, cell membrane, along with cell membrane, cytoplasm. It contains lobed constricted nucleus and cell organelles are present in it. They are responsible for the different, that is to WBC, that white blood corpuscles are necessary to fight against the disease causing germs in our body. Is it clear? So they are very much important for our body to fight against the disease causing germs. So this is about the different types of cells present in our body that we have learned so far. Now you are going to learn about the size of the cell. In fact, if you see that the size of the cell, I told you, it varies from a biggest elephant to a human being. If you see that the size varies and it depends upon the number of the cell, the size of the animal or the organism depends upon the number of the cells but not the size of the cells. The size of an organism depends upon the size of an organism depends upon number of cells but not size of the cell, We cannot say that the elephant cell is very large, so the size of the elephant is very big. Okay, it depends upon the number of the cells but not the size of the cell. That is the fact that you have to understand. Cells are of different size, shapes and structures. So the size of the cell, if you say take the amoeba, which is irregular in shape. This is irregular in shape. It contains the nucleus in the middle and the cytoplasm and cytoplasmic granules are present inside. Cytoplasmic granules are present inside. So these are the protrusions of amoeba which always changes. Amoeba is irregular in shape. It is the shape of amoeba is irregular. Shape is irregular. It is unicellular organism. It is unicellular organism. So all the life functions, that is processes like ingestion, digestion, excretion, locomotion, all are performed by a single cell, that is unicellular organism. So this is performed by the single cell where its shape is irregular. So it's these protrusions are called as pseudopodia. They change often. They change often. Pseudo means false. Podia means feet. That is false feet. Is it clear? So they always try to change their protrusions and hence it is irregular in shape. The shape of the amoeba is irregular. Is it clear? And hence it's a unicellular organism and all the life processes are performed by only a single cell in amoeba. Okay, and the size of the cell varies from the minute microscopic organism to the largest ostrich egg. How the size varies? So it may be millionth of a micrometer, or that is, you can say that it may be as large as the centimeters also, few centimeters also. So now you will see the size of the cell, how it varies from very smallest bacteria to largest cell of ostrich egg. So I said that the size of the cell vary from the millionth of a meter. Millionth of a meter, which is called as a micron. Millionth of a meter is called as a micron. It's represented like this, the symbol. Okay, millionth of a meter is micron. You very well know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters and 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, isn't it? 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. 1 millimeter is equal to, that is 1000 micrometers. 1000, it's yes, it's 1000 micrometers. You have to write like this. Okay, 1 millimeter is equal to 1000 micrometers and 1 micrometer is equal to 1 micrometer is equal to 1000 nanometers. Note down children, 1000 nanometers. This is micrometer, millimeter, centimeter. Note down the units. So 1 millionth of a meter is a micron. 1 millionth of a meter is a micron. Now we'll see the size of the smallest bacteria, which ranges from 0.1 to 0.5 micrometers. Size of the cell of a bacteria cell. Smallest one, bacteria cell is a smallest size of the bacteria cell is a smallest one. It ranges between 0.1 to 0.5 micrometers. 0.1 to 0.5 micrometers. Note down. And the largest one is of ostrich egg. Largest one is of ostrich egg. Size of the ostrich egg cell. It is the largest one. It ranges between 17 centimeters into 18 centimeters, that is approximately 306 square centimeters. Okay, so that's the range of the ostrich egg. Next, size of human kidney or liver. Liver and kidney. Note it down, children. The cells present in the human liver and kidney, it ranges to 20 to 30 micrometers. 20 to 30 micrometers. Note down. 20 to 30 micrometers. So the size of the cell always depends upon the size of the, that is, it is related to its function. It is related to its function. It depends upon the substances present in the cell, location where it is present, and its function. So its function is related to its location, and so size of the cell is related to its function. So size of the cell is related to its function. The size of the cell is it's not related, it is based on the number of the cells, but not the size of the cell. The size of the organism, size of the organism depends upon the number of the cells, but not the size of the cells. That you have to keep in your mind. So this is the factors on which the size of the cell depends upon is related to its function. It's the factors on which the size of the cell depend. Factors on which the size of the cell depend is number one, its function. Mainly, it's related to its function. How? The place where it is present, that is location. That is location. Secondly, its location and substances present in the cell. Substances present in the cell, that is cell organelles. Cell organelles and the shape of the surrounding cell. Shape of the surrounding cell. As you very well know that the nerve cell performs the function of transferring the messages from to the human body. That is, in the human body, the nerve cell is elongated. The size, it is elongated in structure and shape, and it's related to its function to transfer the messages. Okay, and next, its location is in the nerve cell. It transfers the messages, and so its function is to transfer the messages. And if it is of kidney, the cells of the kidneys perform the function of excretion only. And the function of different cells present in the different organelles of the different body cells, they perform the function, they are located in the part of the cell. Okay, so the size of the cell depend upon the function and the location of the cell, and the substances present in the cell, and the shape of the surrounding cell. Okay, children, so RBC are round in shape because its function is to circulate in the body. So blood circulation, in order to circulate in the body, they are as a round in shape. So their function is to circulate in the body. So it is related, the size or the shape of the cell is related to its function. The shape of the cell or the size of the cell is related to its function. Okay, children, so hope you have understood this lesson, and now I'll continue with the part of the question answers of this lesson. Okay, note down this. Children, now in this question, who discovered the cell for the first time? You know very well That cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. While he was observing the cork cells of the oak plantation, under his magnifying device. So his magnifying device, which was a simple one, and it magnified as he has observed under his magnifying device that the honeycomb structure. So this he observed that contained many empty spaces, and these empty spaces he called as cavities, and these cavities were called as cell by Robert Hooke. The cell, which means little room in Latin. So note down this, children, in your notebooks neatly. Okay, in 1665 a British scientist Robert Hooke discovered the cell for the first time. He observed the thin slices of cork under the simple magnifying device and observed that the cork resembled the shape of honeycomb structure consisting of many empty spaces, and these empty spaces, it was made up of small cavities, and these cavities are called as cells by Robert Hooke. Okay, note down this, and next we'll proceed to the next question. Second question is, name the factors on which the shape of the cells depend. The shape of the cells normally depend on its function of that particular organism and the location of the cell where it is located. Okay, and it's also depending on the substances present in the cell and the shape of the surrounding cell. Normally the shape of the cell is related to its function, as I said you in the this class, that if the nerve cell perform the functioning of transferring the messages, isn't it? So it is long and elongated structure, branched structure to transfer the messages from the brain to the sensory organs and so and vice versa, isn't it? And the RBC are round in order to circulate in the blood. So you have to write in this manner for this answer. Okay, note down the answer for this question too, children, neatly. See here, the shape of the cell depends on its specific function and location in that organism, substances of the cell and shape of the surrounding cell. The shape of the cell is related to its function. Nerve cells are long and elongated for transferring messages. RBC are round to rotate in the blood. Note down. In this third question of the distinguishing between the unicellular and multicellular organisms, unicellular organisms, as you know very well, that they are made up of single cell, and multicellular organisms are made of numerous cells, that is more than one cells. All the life processes in the unicellular organisms are performed by a single cell, whereas different functions or the different life basic functions are performed by the different cells in the multicellular organism. Okay, children. So as you know very well, the unicellular organisms are bacteria, amoeba and chlamydomonas. Multicellular organisms, starting from in the plants also you find the numerous cells in plants, and in animals such as fish, frog, that is man, human, snakes, etc. They contain the numerous cells in them, and the specific functions are performed by the different cells in their body. Okay, so all the life process like taking in food, digestion, respiration, reproduction, growth, everything, all these life processes are performed by different cells in the multicellular organisms, and all these life processes are performed by a single cell in the unicellular organisms. You can find out the answer again and write neatly in your notebooks, children. See, unicellular organisms are made of single cell, whereas multicellular organisms are made up of more than one cell. And unicellular organisms are single cellular, they show single cellular organization, whereas in multicellular organisms show complex cellular organization. All the life processes are performed by a single cell in unicellular organisms, and multicellular organisms, the different basic functions are carried by a variety of cells. Bacteria, amoeba and chlamydomonas are the examples for unicellular organisms, whereas multicellular organisms, you can see the plants, a variety of the plants, fishes, frogs, snakes and man come under the multicellular organisms. So note down and we'll move to the next question, that is of how will you prepare a slide without drying quickly. How I have already told you in the class about the preparation of the microscopic slide. Without drying, what you will add, children? Water and the glycerin is added, not to make the object that is placed over the slide to, in order to make, not to dry. Okay, so that is the what you are going to write in this session, and how you will prepare a microscopic slide, and with complete explanation you are going to give this answer. Okay, what is the question, children, here? How will you prepare a slide without drying quickly? How will you prepare a slide without drying quickly? Note down. How will you prepare a slide without drying quickly? So answer for this question is, take a rectangular strip of clear and clean glass piece called slide. Okay, first note it down and then you can easily write. If the object is thin and flat, it can be directly placed on the glass slide toward the center. Add a drop of water with the help of the soft brush. Okay, so you will be taking a rectangular glass slide, and the thin strip of the object is to be taken and kept over the glass slide. Okay, that with the help of the brush. Then a drop of glycerin is to be added, or the water is added to it and the glycerin is added, which prevent the material from drying. If the object is transparent, it may be stained with the iodine, safranin or methyl orange or any other dye, chemical dye, to bring out the contrast between the kind of the cells in the material. Then cover the object with a thin cover slip, holding carefully with the cover slip to be not disturbed. So the object should not be disturbed while you are placing the cover slip, and without any air bubbles you have to place the cover slip over it, so that no bubbles are formed. Extra water, if any, should be removed out with the strips of from the edges that come out over the cover slip, and they may be dried with a piece of blotting paper or with a filter paper. So now the slide is ready to observe. So what is the major part that you have understood here, children? That in order to prevent drying, you are adding water or glycerin. Water and glycerin. Keep the slide for the longer time. You have to add a drop of glycerin to the study material on the slide. This glycerin saves the material from drying, that is dehydration. So what is that you are doing? If you want to keep the object, or when you are preparing a slide, if it is given for essay mark, completely the preparation of microscopic slide you have to write. If it is for 2 marks, simply you can write you are adding glycerin to it. Okay, write down the answer now. Now done, children, how will you prepare a slide without drying quickly? If we want to keep the slide for a longer time, we have to add a drop of glycerin to the study material. Study material, that is the object that is placed over the slide, on the slide. Next, this glycerin saves the material from drying, that is dehydration. Okay, children? So this is about the preparation of the slide on a microscopic, preparation of a microscopic slide you have studied. And next question is that part that we have studied in today's class, that is whether the cells can be seen with the naked eyes or not. You know very well that all the cells cannot be seen with the naked eye, except a few, which are a few centimeters larger, can be seen with the naked eye, but the micrometers, the cells of the size of millimeters and micrometers, cannot be seen with the naked eye, and they can be seen only with the help of microscope. Okay, so that is the next question answer. We'll continue in the next class, and till then you try to read the question answers that is given today in today's class, and also read the textbook part well. Okay, so all the part of the lesson that I have covered so far, try to recall the once again and try to come for the next class. Thank you, children. Stay safe at home. Study well.